I'm not supposed to care. That's not exactly true. That's not exactly right. It doesn't exactly hit the mark. I have already made the decision that I'm not supposed to care. I've already made the decision that I've become this thing that isn't supposed to care. I've already turned myself into a product, and products don't get to care. But I guess sometimes I do care. I guess sometimes I care a lot. Sometimes I care too much. There was this fellow who was talking about deep fakes, and there's a lot of discourse on the ramifications of deep fakes and the psychological impact of deep fakes. And I'm sitting here like, what if I'm already a deep fake? And what if this experience that I'm experiencing is a physical deep fake? People assume, because there's no other way to live, they assume that what is known about the current level of technology, what is known about what is possible, is what is possible. Some people are aware that there's more things possible than they're aware of, but most people assume that if science says this is what is and what isn't possible, then that is what people know about. That is the apex of human knowledge. I unfortunately had the curse of having read or listened to, however you want to say it, a story by a guy. And the story was called Influx. And it basically was about how in the past certain technologies allowed a small number of individuals to accelerate the amount of technology they had beyond the scope of the standard set. And they used this technological advantage in order to segregate the technologies between those who have it and those who don't, and then capture any new technologies that arrived on the scene which were, in their mind, dangerous or too accelerating. And then they put those accelerations back into what they already have to propel themselves even further. Essentially like, the ivory tower, but the ivory tower is completely separate, and nobody knows what's on the inside of it and at the top of it. And this seems all too realistic to me. It seems all too realistic that, in the 50s there was technologies which were invented which allowed a small set of people to propel themselves into a space where they were able to invent the kind of technology we have now, but in the 70s. And then those people in the 70s were able to create technology that we can't even fathom, in the 90s. And meanwhile, we're all playing with this new internet thing, and they've got literal, quantum entanglement shit already. It's not exactly a great feeling. It's not exactly a feel-good moment. Poverty is this thing we talk about being a huge problem, but on the other hand, the opposite problem is also a huge problem. The problem of plenty is one that we have not any kind of social solutions for. We have violence baked into our DNA, and we have these concepts of idle hands, and when plenty is the norm, these tendencies are put on edge. We expect the shoe to drop, but if the shoe never drops, it's that tendency itself is the shoe that is waiting to drop. That tendency itself is the arsonist firefighter who causes the problem. And I have a hard time dealing with it within myself. And I really wonder at the wider space, I don't have much faith in humanity because I don't have much faith in myself. And despite all my failings, I seem to be on the at least 50% of the bell curve. Maybe 53%, maybe 60. Some people consider me in the 90 percentile. I used to consider myself there. I used to think I was in the 95 percentile and had this super dim view of humans, and every time I think that people are pretty good, I'm proving how wrong I am, but I don't think that I'm all that high up anymore. I definitely don't think that I'm in the 90 percentile anymore. That's for damn sure. Maybe I'm actually on the low end. Maybe I'm actually in the 40% centile. Maybe I'm in the first what is it fucking called? I can't even remember these words. They just mean nothing to me anymore. They don't have any utility in my life. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter where I am in the bell curve. The point is I'm on the bell curve, and so is everyone else. And if I'm any kind of point of data from which to judge myself, at least, and the people in the wider world, then humans are pretty fucking retarded. And we don't deal well with having nothing to do, and having the fact that Protestant kind of ideals being a problem, right? The idea that we should be producing things and we should be improving things being a problem, being the root of the problem. Because for so long it was that we didn't have enough things. We didn't have enough. And maybe I'm living in a future that doesn't exist in the present. And maybe I've been thrown into a future that where someone's experimenting with trying to solve this problem that is going to exist but doesn't actually exist, but it exists for me in the present, even though it's going to exist in the future, because it's better to do small scale experiments and stuff. Maybe that's the case, but the fact is, it's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem, and I don't think there's a solution for it. Maybe some genetic engineering shit. Like there was that shitty anime where they crossbred humans with bonobos, and like everyone was gay when they were children, so that they could get rid of the sexual energies in a safe way. That shitty anime. I don't know. The other day I had this moment that lasted multiple infinities, and it had this this trick of mind, where it's like, how do I explain it? You have a set of things, and then you swap what those things are, but you do it in such a way that you can't tell that the swap occurred. It's like when you do cardistry shit and you do all these flourishes, and then the deck ends up being in the same order that it started out as, kind of a thing. It was like I don't know if I had 5 fingers on my hand before this event occurred. Now, of course, I remember having had 5 fingers, but that's part of the whole switcheroo. I may have had 4 fingers or 6 fingers before, and now I'm in a place where I have 5 fingers. Also, I'm not sure if vision was what I like, if I had vision, or if I was using my hearing, or if my sense of touch. Like I feel like those input senses may have been all swapped around, but my mind learned during this sequence of events how to process the other senses in such a way that it doesn't matter, and that the spectrum shifted between red and blue, and that blue became red and ultraviolet became blue, and that I just moved between places where it just appears that that's normal. Or maybe it went the other way, and that red became blue, and I don't know if it's getting dimmer or if it's getting brighter. And space and time all got all swapped around, and up became sideways. And yeah, I don't have any way of knowing. What I know is that I was rolling around on the ground, and that I was in a door jam. Door frame. I was in a door frame, and the door frame was too big, and then it was too small, and then it was exactly the right size, and it was 90 degrees, and it wasn't 90 degrees, and I didn't know where my origin was, and my origin was inside my brain, and it was inside my heart and it was outside of my body, and I don't know if any of that is true, or if I even have a center, if that is even a thing that makes any sense. And whether I'm one thing or many things, or nothing at all, I have this thread of consciousness, at least, and it seems to be a singular thread of consciousness that I can look back upon, but it's too fluid to trust that the historical record is accurate. And I was trying to sleep, and then I just woke up and had this impulse. An impulse that I could have just festered on, laying in bed, and not doing anything about. But I decided that since I had decided that I am a product, that I may as well be a product, and may as well realize the festering thought. So here we are. Doesn't have a satisfying conclusion. It doesn't have a satisfying conclusion. Because the end is just the beginning of something else.